गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna to everybody. So, since I'm seeing some new faces here, so is it the first time that you're coming to this place? And but you don't follow ISKCON as such, in the sense that you don't know the various things that we do in ISKCON. But do you read the Bhagavad-gītā? But have you read the Bhagavad-gītā as it is from Prabhupada or? Okay. So, as per our, the everyday what we follow is that in the morning we read one verse from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, and in the evening we read one verse from Bhagavad-gītā. So somebody gives the lecture for that. So it's my service today to talk about, if you see chapter 7 verse 9 is what we are going to talk about. That is what is there in the board. And I don't know if you have heard these lectures that are done in various temples around the world. So typically we start with reciting the shloka 3 times. We will, and then some of you can take a shot at reciting the shloka. And then after that, we will go through discussing about it till about 6:30 or so. After that the arati will start, and then there will be a yajna today. So that is the kind of procedure that we do. So we will begin with the lecture now. So thank you for coming here and being part of this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So today we will be reading from chapter 7, which is called Knowledge of the Absolute, and verse number 9. So, Punya Gandha Pritvyam Cha Tejas Chasmi Vibhavasau Jivanam Sarvabhuteshu Tapas Chasmi Tapasvisu Punyo Gandha Prithvyam Cha Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu Tapas Chasmi Tapasvisu Punyo Gandha Prithvyam Cha Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu Tapas Chasmi Tapasvisu Punyo Gandha Prithvyam Cha Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu Tapas Chasmi Tapasvisu. Punyo Gandha Prithvyam Cha Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Punyo gandha prithviyam cha. Tejaschasmi vibhavaso. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu. Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Any of you want to try? Punyo gandha prithviyam cha. Tejaschasmi vibhavaso. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu. Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Anybody from the ladies? You can just repeat whatever you are saying. It's always auspicious to read out the Bhagavad Gita shlokas. So take it as, once you read it, Narasimha will hear it and he will give you his blessings. It's okay, no problem. So we'll read the meaning. Punya, original. Gandha, fragrance. Prithvyam, in the earth. Cha, also. Tejaha, temperature. Cha, also. Asmi, I am. Vibhavasau, in the fire. Jivanam, life. Sarva, all. Bhuteshu, living entities. Tapaha, penance. Cha, also. Asmi, I am. Tapasvishu, in those who practice penance. Translation purport by His Grace Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penance of all ascetics. Purport. Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is original. Everything in the material world has a certain flavor of fragrance, as a flavor and fragrance in a flower, or in the earth, in water, in fire, in air, etc. The uncontaminated flavor, the original flavor which permeates everything, is Krishna. Similarly, everything has a particular original taste, and this taste can be changed by the mixture of chemicals. So everything original has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vibhava means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, etc. And that fire is Krishna. The heat in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to a low temperature in the belly. So even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals and all material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll just read the translation again. So Krishna says, I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penance of all ascetics. So actually, this particular chapter is also called Vijnana Yoga, or knowledge of the absolute. It reveals Krishna's universal form in the sense that his energies and how he pervades everything in creations. And this chapter is the foundation for actually understanding the nature of God and the spiritual path we need to take. So, in order to just make it a little more interactive, since you people are coming for the first time, this particular ISKCON, the full form is called ISKCON, is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, I don't know if you know, what is really Krishna consciousness according to your understanding? What is Krishna consciousness? What do you think is Krishna consciousness? Maybe you need not take it as Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. Anything that you relate to God, when you say God consciousness, what is it actually that your understanding is? You shouldn't be looking at, spirituality, I need to, from childhood I've been exposed to God and all that. People say that you should have fear of God and that is the way we have been brought up also, that he is a very God-fearing person. But actually that is not, according to me, which I learned pretty much late in life. You cannot follow something in fear. If you love something, that is a completely different, it changes the meaning completely. So what is important is your love for God rather than fear for God. So once you start loving God, then automatically all the things that follow becomes automatically helps you in your spiritual journey going ahead. And the way we define Krishna consciousness, or you can say God consciousness for you, is that sometime in your we have been taking births again and again and again in this material world. We were serving Krishna at one point in time, but somewhere along the way we forgot about it, and we completely forgot about the fact that we are actually connected to Krishna. We were connected to Krishna, now we have gone away from Krishna. So Krishna consciousness is nothing but reigniting that particular connection back to Krishna. So that is what we call as Krishna consciousness. And how can we do that? Obviously, what happens is, I don't know if there are 4 yugas, and now what we are going through is called the Kali Yuga, which is supposed to be the time of conflicts, and people will keep on lying and cheating, and all that will be happening in this particular yuga. But one of the good things of being born in Kali Yuga is the fact that 500 years back, there was, as per what we follow within ISKCON itself, maybe typically not known, that there was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He took birth as a devotee of Krishna. Actually, is Krishna himself in the form of what we call as Radha Krishna combination. So he came and he then said that the easiest way in Kali Yuga to go back or build up or reignite this connection to Krishna is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, and in order to do that, by chanting the holy name with dedication, if you keep chanting the Mahamantra with dedication, slowly what will happen is whatever impurities are there around your heart, which basically covers your service to Krishna or the connection that you had with Krishna, will slowly start getting, but it happens like one sand, at a time, like that, because you have taken millions and millions and millions of birth, and your consciousness is engulfed into these material aspects, and you don't feel Krishna, or you don't see Krishna, you don't know it, but he is there within you. And he will reveal himself to you when you start thinking about him. Today you are not doing that. I mean, maybe you are saying that I go to the temple once and pray, and based on, asking him that please give me this, give me that. That is not actually your connection to Krishna. We don't go to a temple just to ask for something, because Krishna knows what you need. So you don't need to go and ask for him saying that please pass me in my exam today, I am not prepared properly, or I am having this disease, so please let it go away. Those things are connected to this material world. What you should be asking is, Krishna, please ensure that how can I slowly increase my devotion to you, so that you can then reveal yourself. And you will notice that once you start doing that, you will notice, in your day-to-day life too, that things that you typically forget, you will start remembering those things. because you are, all those things that are happening to you, stress, whatever you call it, all of those things will not touch you. And you will, therefore, once your mind becomes so clear that you will automatically, as you said, things that you normally will forget, you will remember. So that is the whole idea of when we say that let me go towards, my spiritual way. And Krishna also says in the Gita somewhere in the earlier chapter that there are 4 kinds of people, why you people remember Krishna. First thing is when people are in distress, they will suddenly feel, oh, God, please save me. So that is one of the first, Second is because of wealth. People want money. So they'll say, please give me money, Krishna. Second. Third are the kind of, people who are curious. So inquisitive. They want to know, where is God? Who is it? And fourth, is the people who are wanting some knowledge. So these are the kind of people. I fall in the category of people who are in distress. Suddenly, I start feeling, oh, this is happening, that is happening. Suddenly I remember, is God around or not? And the journey begins then, that you then question yourself. I don't know if you have ever done that. Have you ever questioned that why you are in this world? Why did you, why were you born in this world? It couldn't be simply that, just you took birth just to get married, have kids and then die. That, in a way, doesn't seem the purpose that, that your journey was to come into this world. Couldn't be that. So when you start having this curiosity to know why you have come to this world, then your journey begins into Krishna consciousness. And the fact, which is also known in the Gita, of course, Gita, we are going to read this particular chapter, this particular verse, is that you should understand that you are not the body, you are the soul. The soul is permanent, the body will, get destroyed from one birth to the other. And what you are trying to do is that you are trying to therefore come out of this cycle of what we call as birth and death again and again. So there are 4 things again which you can't avoid: birth, disease, old age and death. These are the 4 things you have to accept it, it will happen. And it is not necessary also that, you have to become old to die. People die, at a very young age also, you see that. So there is no age. So you cannot say that, I will wait till 60 years before I start thinking about God, because you can, this life you see it around, it's as recent as the Ahmedabad plane air crash to so many things that happen around you, keeps on reminding you again and again. Keeps on reminding you that this life is in something which you cannot predict. Anything can happen in any moment. So also Krishna also says in one of the verses also, is that if at the time of dying you think about me, you will attain me. And it is not possible to do that. That, when you are actually dying, somebody is dying, that you suddenly think of Krishna. That will not happen. Like that if you want to, for example, most people go to the gym because they have a belly or something and they want to reduce, the belly part, because that's the most difficult part to kind of reduce, because that first gets accumulated there only. So you start doing crunches, for example. So the more you do it, the more you practice, then that is the way it, the possibly, the belly will start reducing and you will start getting you will become thinner. So similar to that, the more you practice as early as possible, right from your childhood, start chanting, then it could happen that Krishna will enable you that at the time of your death, you're thinking about Krishna. Because you never know where you would be at, when this happens. So typically, off late, I've seen, for example, my father also, he had to go to the hospital, and he was in the hospital going through so many things, so many pains, so many things where you can't think of all those things. And therefore, if your mind is slowly conditioned towards thinking about Krishna, then it could happen that at that point in time, when you're dying, you will be thinking of Krishna and you will attain it. So, let's come to this verse. I digressed a bit basically because, as you said, you are just now coming. So, if you look at the first verse, which is Punyo Gandha Prithviyam Cha, what does it really mean? It says original fragrance of the earth, that is one-to-one meaning. So Krishna is saying that he is the pure original essence that gives the earth its natural scent. So the scent, the good smell that comes, is purely, it is Krishna. Krishna is the cause of that. And one of the major examples of that, if you can think of, I can think of is, I don't know if you know the story of Putana. Putana, was a demoness who wanted to, Kamsa had told her to go and kill Krishna because Krishna was just born. He understood that Krishna is the one who is going to kill him. So he instructed Putana to go and kill Krishna. So Krishna went there as a beautiful woman and as a mother. She went and she wanted to feed Krishna. So she fed, Krishna, she gave milk to him. At that time, of course, Krishna is Krishna, so he understood it. So he ended up, biting, and she finally came to her original form and she died. Now, what happened was that her body, this is mentioned, there is a complete chapter in Srimad-Bhagavatam, chapter 10, which is called the Krishna book. And this particular pastime, the whole pastime of how Putana came, did whatever and all that, is clearly mentioned in a lot of detail. But this is after she died. Then her body was cut into small, small pieces and each of those body parts were cremated. Now, what happened was, all around there was this scent. The fragrance spread around. This is something it's like a miracle. But this is because of the fact that she went and Krishna touched her, even her body part became to such an extent that it gave out fragrance. So that is what she achieved. And this fragrance is what Krishna is. And that is what he mentions, that if you see in your day-to-day life, anything that you see, when you smell the incense sticks, that smell is telling you that that is Krishna actually coming in and, reminding you, please think about me. I am there everywhere. It is just that you are not seeing me. So the fragrance itself is what is Krishna. So that is what is mentioned in this particular sentence. Second, it says that Tejas Chasmi Vibhavasau. It literally turns to heat in the fire. So Krishna is the energy and the radiance within fire. So if you look at, again here, Krishna is telling that I am the fire itself. And this is a known fact that now you will see at 6:30 or after the arati is done, that when the yajna is done, why you do the yajna? Yajna is nothing but the mouth of Krishna. So you are therefore trying to offer, whatever that you offer is into the fire is actually Krishna eating that. So that fire is actually there in your belly. So this, without that fire, you will have all indigestion and all kinds of problems. So Krishna controls that also. And that is what is mentioned here. So Krishna, if you see, is there in the basic things that we're talking about, which is fragrance, which is part of the earth. And if you see the creation itself, when the water and fragrance combine together, it becomes the earth. So Krishna is this particular, again is mentioned that wherever you see fire also and light, everything is again Krishna here. And again the second or third example that I can tell you from the scripture is, one is Hanuman. I don't know if you know that Hanuman, when he went to Lanka, he was caught. But then he decided that he will go and ensure that he was caught, and his tail, they decided that they will burn the tail. So they went to all across Lanka and bought clothes and clothes and clothes because his tail was becoming longer and longer, and then they completely covered it up and then they lighted it. But Hanuman never felt anything. He flew around and burned the whole of Lanka. But he never felt the heat of if any fire happens, you will get singed or burned. But why did Hanuman never get it? Because he was a devotee of Ram, who is again Krishna only in a way. So, he's one of the avatars. So, because he is fire, so Krishna can control how that fire also behaves with you. So again, what I'm trying to say is, if you look at fire, if you look at fragrance, all of this should again remind you of Krishna again and again. Second story which relates to fire is that here Prahlad Maharaj, who was devotee of, Krishna. So his father, Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to ensure that he dies. So he tried all kinds of things by pushing him from the hill. One of the things he did is, like we do this holy festival, is that the Holika, the one who owns that holy, she was given the task of ensuring that Prahlad gets burnt in the fire and dies. But what happened? Because he was Lord Narasimha or Krishna's devotee, Krishna ensured that nothing happened to him, but Holika got burnt. So Krishna has the control of that too, because he himself is, as I said, fire itself. So there are two examples which are there for us. Third is Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. He is the life of all that is living. So he is the life force in every living being. What does that mean? One has to understand that Krishna is within ourselves. And that is clearly visible for people, of course, who has grown older. You see, till the time that anybody is living, there is this life force within. You can see, that you're moving and all. But the moment you die, then we say that, a body. You don't say that, this is X, Y, Z. You say it's a body. Why? Because the life force within, which is Krishna, has now exited. So that is, again he says that I am the life force in all living entities. This is again mentioned here. And that is, as you said, is known. After that, and that's why we say the body is nothing but a combination of dirt, mud, filth, everything that you can think of. It's just because the soul is inside, and then there is a particular form given to it. Some are given a beautiful form, some are given different forms. So we get attracted to this form and get attached to the form. But the reality is, it is just the soul within, which is the main thing. And therefore you have to try to ensure that how you can purify that particular soul. And Krishna exists within you, and your journey is to see how you can get closer and closer to Krishna within you by doing all that which we currently do. Lastly, he says, Tapaschasmi tapasvisu. So, it means nothing but penances of the ascetics. So, all the penances that the sages do, the power to perform austerity and penance also comes from Krishna. It is not that anybody and everybody can go and, do some kind of austerity and penance. Dhruv Maharaj, for example, he was standing on one leg, and it came to such a point that, he was not even eating anything, he was not even breathing. So this kind of penance or austerity he did, which without the enabled by Krishna, you cannot do it. Just try to, for example, one of the things which is done as part of our journey in our spiritual life is we do fasting. Now, what is the whole idea behind fasting? Is that the more, one of the things we are very attached to is food, the tongue. Tongue is something which nobody can control or very difficult to control. I'm not saying nobody can control. Two things the tongue does. One, it speaks, which is again dangerous. And one, when it gets the taste. So the taste itself is nothing but given by Krishna. So even if you see, water tastes different with, different, though it is water, but it tastes different in different places. This taste is again given by Krishna. So what I would want to say is that the whole idea of fasting is to try to see whether you can, on a particular day, abstain from having any food, in spite of all the food around you. You should eat to live, not live to eat. That is, and when you fast, typically that day, you should think more about Krishna. Why you are fasting is that you are completely now not having to do, typically when you eat or drink, you have to go to the toilet, you have to do all those kinds of things. You don't have to do any of that because you have not taken any input at all. So, with that, if you can fast and at least for a day. Day is a long time, and when you say fast, we abstain from completely everything, including water. So 24 hours. So there was, and I don't know, there is every 14 days we have something called as Ekadasi, which is a very special day of Krishna, which is there tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually Ekadasi, which is a very special Ekadasi because it's Ashadha Ekadasi, which is very special to Vitthala, Lord Vitthal in Pandharpur. So it's a special Ekadasi that way. But just about 2-3 weeks back, there was one more Ekadasi which was called Nirjala Ekadasi, which was called, it's Pandava, it's called also Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi because it was specifically for Bhima. Bhima could never live without any food. He had to have something to eat. Without that, he couldn't do it. So he told, I cannot do Ekadasi at all, not possible. So Krishna told him that, one day you stay even without water, that means you have done all the Ekadasi. So it was specifically therefore called Bhima Ekadasi, and that day we don't even drink water right from one day before till the next day morning. So this kind of austerity is called an austerity because it is something which is beyond your control, which you don't want to do. So still you're doing it. So it is a form of penance or austerity, but this power to perform this austerity is also given by Krishna. Without him, it is very, very difficult to, have that austerity. And if you see, for example, if you're going to Badrinath or Kedarnath, you have to climb up really high a mountain to go to Kedarnath. It is not very easy. We have done it, but you see very, very old people also going and doing it. Why? Because they are enabled, because that faith and devotion makes them take that extra step and willpower. In spite of the fact that they ideally will not be able to do it, they end up going and scaling that heights. So this austerity, this ability to perform such austerity is again given by Krishna only. So Srila Prabhupada, for example, the founder Acharya, he says that Krishna is the original source of all qualities and energies in this universe. Every fragrance, heat, life force, and even the power to perform penance is a manifestation of nothing but Krishna's energy is what is coming out, provided you are able to see that, you are able to feel that. And everything is therefore Krishna's energy. And this material world is nothing but, it's supposed to be a reflection of Krishna's spiritual energy, the material energy. But material energy, unfortunately, is completely opposite of the spiritual energy. So material energy tries to take you and ensure that you come back to this world. Whereas what we are trying to do is to get away from this. And that is the journey that we need to embark by asking these questions. Even our capacity to act, think or perform austerities is due to Krishna's grace. So the more you pray to Krishna, you will be able to perform more these kinds of austerities to ensure that at the end of the day that you have control over your senses. One of the senses which is nothing but the sense of what we call as eating is one of the senses. And by doing these austerities, by getting used to doing fasting, you will slowly get detached from obviously we try to, whenever we try to eat prasad, which is what is offered to Krishna, so that again we are spiritually not getting away from Krishna. And as I said, the more you practice all these kinds of things, the more it becomes easier for you to then get in your progress in your spiritual journey. So what this verse tells us to do is nothing but it encourages us to see Krishna in every experience and activity of ours. And actually there are various Vaishnava Acharyas who have written various things about Krishna and the Krishna consciousness. One of them, there is a commentary called Subodhini commentary, where again, somebody called Sridhara Swami, he emphasized the power of Krishna, that Krishna is there in all of this, what we spoke about. Similarly, Ramanujacharya is one of those again saints who in his Sri Bhashya, he explains that Krishna is the inner controller and the source of all the qualities that are there, and He is not only present as a life force, but also as a power behind every action and austerity that we perform. So, and also the guru of Srila Prabhupada was called Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He is also one of our gurus. He emphasizes, what he emphasizes is nothing but on service and humility. That means the more you serve Krishna, like by coming to the temple, by listening to the Bhagavad-gītā, by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, doing all of that, the more you do that, that will lead to humility and devotion to Krishna. That will increase your love for Krishna, and you will become more humble. Because what happens is, whenever you have an ego, which all of us have, if somebody tells us something that will affect us, and we will immediately forget Krishna, we will immediately think about that incident only, whatever happened, why did he did this to me? You start hating that person, and that engulfs your mind, and Krishna completely exits your mind. But the more you do this chanting, you will be able to overcome these kinds of strong emotions that come to you, which will, at the end of the day, when you listen to so many people, all of them say, if you hate somebody, better to forgive that person, because you hate person X, but actually it is only affecting you more than the other person. It completely engulfs you in your mind, and it occupies your mind completely. You are not able to do anything. So people say forgive. Forgive is nothing but you're forgetting, and you're just taking it as an incident in your life which happened for whatever reasons. It was maybe Krishna's wish. It is your karma maybe. That's something that you did to that person, and that has come in this particular form. Is the way you have to look at it, because otherwise you will not progress further. Because what is the cause of stress is nothing but the fact that there are so many things that you're thinking about. It could be the past, it could be the future, whereas people tell you to live in the present. You'll say, what will happen tomorrow? What will happen to my kid? I don't have money. This is what is happening. I have this disease, that disease. All of these all these thoughts that come to your mind create that stress, which again causes diseases, which causes, your behavior with your loved ones, your husband, children. They end up, getting affected by whatever happens in your mind. So the first and most important thing for you to understand and ensure that how you can, whenever certain things happen, immediately take it out of your mind and go forward. And the first step towards the journey is to, as I said, bring this humility within you. Be humble. Anybody comes and touches your ego, you should not get affected to the extent that you normally do. And you are able to progress in your spiritual journey. So, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati talk, he said that the only real scarcity in the world is not material scarcity. That is there. But the lack of Krishna consciousness. That means our connection to Krishna. That is something which is lacking. And this verse, as I said, is a call to see Krishna's hand in every aspect of life and to serve him with devotion. So, Bhagavatam also, Srimad-Bhagavatam is one of the other scriptures which I said, which we do it in the morning, which also explains that chanting the holy names and glories of the Lord, it purifies our heart and leads to liberation. And the process of hearing and chanting is the practical application of recognizing Krishna in all the things. So, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he demonstrated that. He's supposed to be the there is a book called Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the postgraduate study of spiritual life, which is built on the foundation of Bhagavad-gītā and Srimad-Bhagavatam, which is basically on the life of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what he also said, he came as a devotee to demonstrate how you should have your relationship with Krishna. He taught that the highest realization is to see Krishna in everything and to serve him with love. And he demonstrated through his own life, showing how to practice Krishna consciousness in daily activities. When we say Krishna consciousness, nothing but how you can, as I said, bring back your connection to Krishna, increase your love for Krishna. And the easiest method, as I said, in this particular Kali Yuga, is by the practice of the Sankirtana, what they call is the chanting of the holy name, what we call as congregational chanting, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Now, how, this verse, how can we use it in our day-to-day life today? Is that let us see Krishna in our daily life. So every time we smell a flower, so if you do, here when we do the arati, we offer flower to Krishna. Once you offer, we keep it here, we go and smell it. That smell, you should feel Krishna there. That Krishna is therefore giving you his blessing, that how he's reminding you, please get connected to me. What are you doing? Why don't you, get connected to me? Secondly, if you feel warmth, and there is fire, of course, when you feel warmth, or when you experience life, that you have this life force within you, you have to remember that Krishna is the source of all that is. It can happen at any moment that this all stops. This will be taken away from you. But you need to therefore appreciate in these small things. You don't need to go looking to the Taj Mahal or things like that. Just to see a rainbow or rain falling. All these are miracles that are happening. Suddenly a bee flying, small mosquito coming and affecting you so much. All these various forms, if you see Krishna in that, like it's said that if somebody is your enemy, again you have to treat him equally, only that there is Krishna within him. It is some form that he has become your enemy, that you have put him in that category. The mosquito is not your enemy, but it comes and bites you, correct? So, but that is also Krishna's creation only. Similarly, a small bacteria, COVID, you see how it brought everything to a standstill. All of that is nothing. It's reminding you that if you can see Krishna there, then you will be able to have a saner thought process and you will be away from all of this stress. But you have to begin that journey. We are fortunate that at least we have been exposed to temples, in India, growing up. But the whole aim of going to a temple is to get that feeling of energy that comes in, because most of the people come there, obviously, of course, they have various thoughts, but they are asking for something. But these positive energy that comes in will somehow guide you and give you this feeling of peace, and that you don't get it in every temple. It's only in some of the temples you get. If you go to a hospital, you can feel the negative energy there, that you're very disturbed there. But when you come to a temple, you get that positive feeling, positive vibe. Even if you are under terrible stress, you suddenly feel a bit of calmness. Why? It is just this, that it is Krishna who is there in everybody's mind, and he is ensuring, therefore, and telling you that just think about me. And in all meditation practices also, if you see, I have done various things, transcendental meditation if you have done, there what they say, they will say that close your eyes and they will give you one particular mantra, you chant that once, and come to a state where your mind is not thinking of anything at all. So you will close your mind, you'll be thinking about 15, 20 things. Slowly, if you actually are focused, slowly those 15 thoughts will become 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there will be one instant when there will be no thoughts. And if you reach that stage, suddenly when you after that, when you just open your eyes, you will feel a feeling of lightness, a feeling of relief, as though, you have reached a state of happiness, what we call as happiness. And we say that I want to be happy. You will reach that state because your mind is not thinking anything. So here, instead of saying not thinking of anything, if you can put Krishna there, at any possible state or experience that you're going through, you will never be touched by any obstacle and your mind will always be stable. So that should be the goal. And therefore, this practice cultivates gratitude and spiritual awareness. And a lot of things that we do is, one of the things is we of course chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, like people who are practicing regularly, like people like me. Like we do what we call as 16, we take a mala, Tulsi beads, 108 beads are there, and we do minimum of 16 rounds of chanting every day. That is like we have promised to our Guru that we will do that. The more you do, the better, but chanting is nothing but telling that, Krishna, please grant me devotion to you and service towards you. To give me all opportunities that I can serve you. And of course, do all these kinds of austerities that, fasting and all the kinds of things that you do. And therefore, in summary, I would say that firstly, start your spiritual journey by at least taking a small step. Maybe chant the Hare Krishna mantra. At least start with 4 rounds or something like that slowly. Keep, of course, coming to temple. You are fortunate that because of Prabhupada, somewhere in Europe, somewhere in Germany, somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you have Visakhapatnam, Simhachalam.com to Simhachalam.de here. And it is one of the few places, I don't think there's any temple in Europe which is dedicated to Lord Narasimha. And it's, in a way, people from the south of India are fortunate, at least from Andhra Pradesh specifically, I should say, because that's where, Lord Narasimha actually came in Ahobilam. We had gone there 2 years back. So he actually came out there. So everybody knows. North of India, people don't know much about Lord Narasimha, but people from the south, all of places, of course, main is Andhra Pradesh, but Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, this particular deity was made in Tamil Nadu, which was made and which was bought here. So we all know Narasimha. It's a form, of course, the form of a lion, half man, half lion form, who came out in this world to remove all our obstacles. So if you like this particular form of Krishna, Krishna is there, therefore he is that way very merciful. He is there in various forms. Actually, the original Krishna in his 2-handed, 4-handed form, all of that. Then you have Jagannath Ji, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, that kind of form. And you have Lord Narasimha here. So if you come here regularly and then increase your love and affection by taking his darshan and being here, listening to the Gita, reading the Gita, Srimad-Bhagavatam, I'm sure slowly you will then be able to embark on your journey. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I hope it was not, I didn't want to make it pretty heavy and get you into another some mode. Make it simple and, give you the essence of, there are so many verses, but Krishna, through his Gita, his discourse to Arjuna, he's telling nothing but, how you can get connected to him and come closer to him. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.